Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I'm so excited to finally film again. It's been a while since I've filmed just because my son's on summer break right now from school, so it's been kind of like a learning curve on how I'm going to film with him being here with me all day. But if you hear him in the background, he's just playing, so you're probably gonna hear him playing in the background. He's having some breakfast and watching a show while I film real quick. But I did want to film for you today because I'm so excited. I did end up picking up the PatMcGrath mini palette. This is the mini eyeshadow palette in Midnight Voyage, and here it is. Like, look how tiny this is. I think you can like see how small it is compared to my hand. But here is the look at the color story. I think I laughed when I first got this in the mail because I was like, oh, that's how tiny it is. Like, we were all wondering how small this was gonna be. It's small. But it does come with 6 shades, which is good because I feel like looking at this, you can get like an everyday wearable look for you to wear to work. You can get a purpley look for like a night out. So I think it's really pretty. I hope PatMcGrath does more palettes like these, but I can't wait to see how this performs. Hopefully this will be just as good as her formula in her motherships, because if you can get her formula that's in her motherships in these little mini palettes for only $29, I think that's awesome. But I do think that this makes me think of Natasha Denona, because Natasha Denona has her mini palettes. They only have 5 shades in them, where this has 6. And this does feel, even like feeling packaging wise and everything, this does feel comparable to the Natasha Denona mini palettes. So maybe PatMcGrath is coming out with like her version of the Natasha Denona minis, which I hope she does and she keeps doing this, because this just makes it way more affordable for people who can't afford $125 for her motherships, or even $65 for the little palettes that she does. So let's just go ahead and get started. I'm excited to do a look with this palette today to see if it's as good as her motherships, because y'all know that I have the motherships, so I can definitely tell you whether it's as good or not. Let me zoom you in a little more. Now that you're zoomed in, I'm gonna go in with my rougher number 15, and I'm gonna go into this first shade, which is just the brown here. And I'm gonna try to go a light hand, because you know PatMcGrath is pigmented. So I'm gonna try to go in with a light hand and just do like a little light wash in the crease. Just something like a transition shade that I can use in my crease. I am going to try to use a lot of these colors on my eyes today, because I want to really test it out for you. But keep in mind, I am trying to go in with a light hand here. So I'm just doing like barely even tapping into the palette, just so I don't get in too much pigment. I think I'm going to go into my rougher number 13 now. And I'm going to go into the deeper purple shade, which is this one right here. I'm going to go into that shade and stick it in my outer corner. So I'm going to go in with my rougher number 14 here. And I'm going to go back into the previous brown shade I was using. I'm going to take a little bit more and just run it over the crease, just to really blend out the edges of the purple shade. And I don't want to lose the brown that I had there. I'm going to go ahead and go underneath my eye before I do my other. I'm going to start out with the purple and just take it under my eye. I just thought I would go ahead and Do that now. Take my Sigma shader brush, the E23 I believe it is, E55. I'm going to go just a tap into the brown shade and just use it to blend out the purple. Smoking it out a little bit. I'm going to go in with some of the shimmers here with my Rephr E28. I'm going to take my NYX glitter glue here. The glitter primer, sorry. It's called glitter primer now. It used to be called glitter glue. I'm going to go into this shade right here in the palette and stick it all over my lid. I already know I love this shade because it's the one shade I own out of the palette. This shade here is in the Divine Rose 2 palette, and it is a stunning. Now I'm going to take the purple out of the palette, a little bit deeper purple, and I'm going to put it on the outer portion of my lid. To kind of blend the two in together. Oh, okay, this is beautiful. I was not expecting it to be that pretty. Wow, that purple's really pretty. I'm going to do the same thing on my other eye, and then we'll do the inner corner and brow bone highlight. I'm going to go back into my Rephr number 13. I'm going to go back into that purple shade that I used in my outer corner, and I'm just going to add more just to blend it. I'm going to go back into my Rephr number 14 also, and go back into the brown shade just to put it over my crease. Do some blending. I feel like this brown shade is doing a good job of helping blend out the edges of the purple shade, because this is not the best purple that I've used, honestly. I've used better purples. Okay, now I'm taking my Sigma pencil brush, the E30. I'm going to go into that new shade, which is Bronze Venus here. I'm going to go into this shade now. And I'm just going to stick it like right on the inner portion of my eye to kind of brighten up that area. Just because I kind of want to try out the shade to see how it is. I didn't get a chance to, so. It's not like a revolutionary shade. It's a shade we already have, but still bronzy shade. I like it actually. That looks really good. Added a little something different. Now that I've put a little bit of that Bronze Venus there on my inner dark, I'm going to my inner corner and my brow bone with this lightest gold in the palette. Okay, I think that looks good. I'm going to go off camera now, and I'm going to go ahead and put on my mascara to finish off my look. Just going to do my mascara. I'm going to probably put on just a lip gloss or whatever, and then I'll be back to show you the completed look. Okay, I'm back. I put my mascara on and put some eyeliner in my waterline and some gloss on. I used, here is a sort of close-up of my look. Let me zoom you back out and we'll go over. Okay, now that I've zoomed you out, thought I would just go over my thoughts. So, is this palette worth 20? I don't know. I liked all the shades except for this purple. This purple shade right here, I found it really patchy and difficult to work with. It wanted to stick in some areas. I really had to work to blend it out. The brown was really good. This brown shade was really good. Entrapment. It was a really good shade. It really helped blend out the purple good. But the purple was difficult to work with. I've used better matte purples I think even Pat McGrath has done better matte purples than this. But I feel like this was in one of her earlier palettes where her mattes weren't quite as good as they are now. Sorry about the noise in the background. But other than that purple shade, I loved the rest of the shades. I did end up in the end going back into this last purple shade called Night Creature, and I just tapped it all over my lid because I love that purple. It was really pretty. So I just lightly tapped it over the top front part too, just to make it look a little cohesive, I guess. But I mean, still, even though I didn't like that one, the one shade, what is it? Is it Extreme Aubergine? Even though I didn't like that one purple shade, I would still recommend this palette. It's a good go-to palette if it's, I think this is something you don't want to take, at least I wouldn't, traveling, take my Mothership palettes or any of my PatMcGrath palettes because they're more expensive, and if you break them, that's a lot of money to replace. But I do think I would recommend this for just like quick everyday looks. If you're going to work, you can definitely get a quick, beautiful brown, bronzy, gorgeous eye with this look. And it's also great for traveling. If you want Pat McGrath to travel with, this would be great for that too. I hope to see more from her from these palettes, but I hope that in the future when she does more, that she does all new shades, not shades that are previously in Motherships that we already have. For me, it was worth it to buy it, even though, because I only have one of all of these shades, because this one shade here in the middle is sorry about the noise, but the shade here in the middle is in the Divine Rose 2 palette, which I have, the Divine Rose 2 Mothership. But I mean, I had a good time. I just had, it was difficult. That purple was difficult to work with, to blend, and to look good without looking too patchy, because it was really wanting to stick in some spots, and I really had to work to blend it. Thank goodness for my brushes. I have really good brushes. But other than that, I really enjoyed the palette. It gave me a beautiful look. I really love the look I got out of it. So I do want to tell you the rest of my face because we only did the eyeshadow palette on camera today. So I'm just going to do like a rundown of what else is on my face. I just used my usual Juno Moonshine Miracle Cream on my eyes. And on my face for my primer with the e.l.f. Holy Hydration Eye Cream. I have like a little miniature, and I've been using that like under my eyes to moisturize. And then I've been going to my Glossier Future Dew. Y'all know that's like my favorite on top of my moisturizer. My foundation today was my Oma by Sharon C. This is the Flawless IRL Skin Perfecting Foundation. And then my concealer was just my e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. This is so close to being empty, and I refuse to film an empties video until I have this in it. So whenever I finish up this, there'll be an empties video coming. I used that under my eyes today. For my bronzer and for my highlight, I used this Oma Double Take Sculpt and Strobe Duo Stick. This is in the shade 3 White Pearl. It just has a bronzer on one side and the highlight is on the other side. I really like this stick. I don't normally just draw on my face to blend out, but this one was like really emollient and it just blended out super easy. So I didn't have any issues drawing on my face with this stick. So I really like that one. I did use some of my AOA Sculpt FX Studio Stick. I just used this around my jawline to sculpt out a little bit for contour. Apparently my son's Spider-Man. I also used this Milani Cheek Kiss Cream Blush in Coral Crush. It's just a really pretty coral shade. I really love this color. Nick just gave me, it's a great color for the summertime. And yeah. In my waterline, I just use this Sephora Illuminator. It's a pink waterline eyeliner. It's just a pink. It's like a light pink shade. It's supposed to be a brown enhancer, but I used it in my waterline. It's the only one I have that's like a light pink. It's like a white pink. Really pretty. And then my gloss I went in with today was, of course, I had to use Miss Pat McGrath. And this is the Divine Rose Lust Gloss, lip gloss. In the shade Divine Rose, which I think matches look really good. My brows, oh, I didn't even tell you about my brows. My brows, I've been using my Oma by Sharon C, the One and Done 2-in-1 Brow Styler, which I didn't like it at first, but now I'm starting to actually really love it. So this might end up being a repurchase for me once it's gone. But anyways, that is all for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this look I got with the Pat McGrath mini eyeshadow palette and Midnight Voyage. And yeah, y'all have to let me know if you picked up this palette. If not, if you are interested in it, or if you're like waiting for reviews. I know I jumped on buying this because it was only $29, and I'm excited for Pat McGrath to make more affordable mini palettes. I hope she does more. I hope this went over well enough that she will make more in the future, and I'm hoping that, of course, the next time she does one, that it won't be shades that people already have in their motherships. I think she should do one with all brand new shades. I would love to see, and I think I mentioned this in my haul or anti-haul video, but I would love to see like at least one of these shades being one of her special shades. I think that would make people really buy it too, if she at least included one special shade inside of here. But yeah, I really enjoyed my look with it. Even though I had a difficult time with the purple, I did eventually get it to look really nice on my eyes. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up down below. And if you're not yet subscribed, I would greatly appreciate it if you consider subscribing to my channel. And next to the subscribe button is the bell. You can ring that to be notified of all my future uploads. And I hope you guys are having a great day, night, weekend, whenever it is you're watching this. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.